Hi, I'm CJ, property manager here in the Denver metro area, that is the south area of the Denver metro. Today I want to unpack for you a property management idea, philosophy of how we can really make investments pay for themselves. Looking here, investments do take a team, and that team consists of three positions. Those three positions, sometimes we call the triple constraints. And those triple constraints are the tenant, the landlord, and the property manager. Now, with each one of these positions, the landlord, they can play the position of property manager and landlord together, but that tenant, well, they are a special one. Now, what does each one of these positions bring to the team, this investment team? Because it takes a team to really make that investment pay for itself. Well, the tenants, of course, they bring a job, they bring income of some source in playing their team in this investment arrangement. Now, the landlord brings, of course, the product, the actual rental that the tenants will be renting from them. The landlord also may bring lenders to help expand their portfolio based on the cash flow and the rents that come in. Now, what about the property manager? The property manager, what they bring to the table is they bring the maintenance, and they also bring tradesmen to make sure that these properties are maintained, and vendors. So each position brings their own element, their own attributes that's very critical to make a successful investment team. Now, let's look closer at the landlord. Now, the landlord can go in several directions as far as maximizing the monthly revenue of their investment. So what are these directions? Well, let's look at the first one. For, say, a single-family residence, the landlord may choose to lease option the single-family house to the tenant. And with the lease option, of course, that's where the tenant, they have a lease, an annual lease, maybe 2-year lease, maybe 5-year lease, whatever. But at the end of that time period, they have an option to purchase that single-family home. Now, in this case, landlords may view this as a lease option. That's where the tenant is responsible for all maintenance and upkeep of that property as if they already own it, since they have that lease option term agreement in place. However, in my experience, the lease option isn't all property management free as we would like it. Because, for example, with a home, the landlord still has responsibilities for, say, the big ticket items like the roof or the HVAC repairs or maybe a sewer line that suddenly surprises us and needs replacement. In that case, a lease option, the tenant would not cover those expenses. So there may be more hands-on involvement, engagement with a lease option than maybe a landlord has been led to believe. Now, the second one, as far as the direction that a landlord can take this, is the landlord may opt to manage their own properties. And that's all the steps that, say, a property manager would do. They would find the tenants, they would vet them, they would ensure that the terms of the contract are enforced for that rental agreement. And then tenants move out, making sure that that unit is cleaned and repaired and prepared quickly for the next tenant who comes in, and around we go. And then the third direction a landlord can go is they can actually hire a property manager, professional property manager such as myself, CJ Wells. And this is where the property manager, they take care of all the day-to-day, the week-to-week, the month-to-month, the year-to-year tasks and responsibilities to ensure that that investment property keeps humming along and maximizing the revenue as part of the investment team. Now let's drill down a little bit more about what does really a property manager do for a landlord. There's always trade-offs, so I want to be equitable in letting you know about these and considering these. So what does a PM do? Well, number one, their first responsibility is to find tenants and care for those tenants. You know, there's something in sales and manufacturing, it's called the cost of acquisition or the cost of sales. So every time a rental unit is turned, that is an expense to the landlord. So the longer the tenancy, the better the numbers look as far as the ROI in acquiring a tenant and then maintaining that tenant and caring for that tenant so that that rent cash flow comes in steadily every year, because it's expensive to turn units and find new tenants to take and fill those units. So that's the first, is to find and care for tenants. The next one is, of course, to collect the rents. And a big part of that is also enforcing the rental agreement. You know, as a professional property manager like myself, CJ Wells, we have a good, caring, and yet professional relationship with tenants. And that actually helps us enforce the terms of the contract, because we're dealing with people here. We're not dealing with widgets or devices or other stainless steel appliances. We're actually dealing with people who has lives, and we want to ensure that that tenant, as part of our investment team, has that job and income and all the things that go around in life to ensure that that contract is enforced and that that rent is paid. And then 3, the maintenance of the properties. You know, tenants want clean, safe places to live. And the property manager is responsible for that. The curbside appeal of a lush green lawn when they come home at the end of the day from their job, that really makes them feel good and that they're living in a good place, a safe place, and a very comfortable place. Besides that, when they bring friends over, it's very impressive, the rental property where they live, as well as any of the other amenities that are provided, that they are clean and in good repair and very functional. Next, 4 is the cost of a property manager. Now, this has been true for many, many decades. And in the Denver metro area, as in most urban areas, that percentage can be anywhere from 6 to 12%, depending on the size and location of the property. Now, some landlords may find that their tenants are wonderful, they're golden, they cause no problems, they don't receive phone calls or any drama with tenants. And it's really wonderful. And a landlord may think, well, why do I need a property manager? I mean, these tenants are wonderful. They don't cause me any problems. I have to maybe spend 1 hour per week or less in managing my rentals. And that's all fine and well, but life always throws something at us where the tenants are wonderful and trouble-free until they're not. Because tenants, again, are people. They have lives. They may have a crisis in their job or with their health or some family situation. And that's where a property manager such as me, CJ Wells, steps in and quickly, efficiently, and affordably helps solve that situation with the tenant. Hopefully keeping them as a long-term tenant. That's what we're after for you, the landlord. And the last one is a property manager. They establish long-term relationships with the tenants. You know, when a tenant comes in, a property manager and the tenant, we look eye to eye, and we're building that trust and that relationship from the get-go. When they initially are vetted by me, CJ, the property manager, to really get a feel of what's going on with them and in their lives, and then taking them to the next step in actually completing a formal application and really getting a feel for them. Setting expectations is very important with a tenant relationship, as well as with the landlord, but it's a give and take, and it's an understanding of the criteria, what's expected of the tenant, and what the property manager is in a position to provide the tenant in caring for that tenant. So all of these things is what a property manager provides a landlord as part of the position the property manager plays with this investment team. And really, that triple constraint, it's really tough to get away from it. But I just wanted to unpack this for you and give you a little bit of a drill down. I'll be sharing more videos with you and more explanations as far as what a landlord does and why landlords are so important in our communities. So that's all for now. This is CJ Wells. Please give me a call if you have comments, questions. My office phone number is 720-283-3110. We'll see you next time. Bye.